Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's breakdown, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button, turn on notification alerts, and give this video a thumbs up if you find our content helpful. It really supports the channel and helps us keep bringing you detailed automotive maintenance and diagnostic guides every week. Today, we are discussing a problem that millions of drivers face every day without even realizing it until it is too late: excessive engine oil consumption. You pull out your dipstick, notice the oil level is critically low, but there isn't a single drop of oil leaking onto your driveway. So where is all that oil going? Why is your engine consuming it? And most importantly, how can you fix it before it ruins your motor? In this video, we are going to cover the difference between normal and abnormal oil consumption, the primary mechanical causes behind internal oil burning, and step-by-step solutions to fix the issue before you end up needing a full engine replacement. First off, it is important to clarify that nearly all modern engines consume a tiny amount of oil by design. Modern car manufacturers use low-friction piston rings alongside extremely thin oils like 0W20 or 0W16 to maximize fuel efficiency. Because of these tight engineering tolerances, a microscopically thin film of oil is left on the cylinder walls during each stroke, which naturally burns off during combustion. Generally speaking, losing up to 1 quart of oil every 1,500 to 3,000 miles can be considered within tolerable manufacturer limits for many modern vehicles. However, if you are adding a quart of oil every 500 to 800 miles, or if your oil level drops significantly between normal oil changes, your engine has an active oil consumption problem that needs immediate attention. When an engine loses oil, it happens in one of two ways: external leaks or internal consumption. External leaks are usually the easiest to spot. You will see wet oil pooling under your oil pan, dripping around the valve cover gasket, weeping from the timing cover, or leaking out of the rear main seal where the engine connects to the transmission. Internal consumption, on the other hand, is much more subtle. The oil escapes directly into the combustion chamber, burns alongside the air-fuel mixture, and exits through your exhaust system. Major signs of internal oil burning include a bluish-gray smoke coming from the tailpipe, especially during hard acceleration or right after starting the car in the morning, an oily residue coating the inside of the exhaust tip, spark plugs covered in wet black ash or heavy carbon deposits, and a distinct burnt oil smell when standing near the vehicle while it idles. So what mechanical components cause an engine to burn oil internally? The absolute most common and cheapest culprit to check first is a faulty positive crankcase ventilation valve, or PCV valve. The PCV system recycles pressure built up inside the crankcase back into the intake manifold so it can be reburned. If the PCV valve gets stuck in the open position, strong engine vacuum will literally siphon liquid oil droplets out of the crankcase and pull them straight into the intake manifold and combustion chambers. The second major cause is worn or carbon-stuck piston rings, specifically the oil control rings. Over time, low-quality oil or extended oil change intervals allow carbon and varnish to bake onto the piston rings, locking them deep inside their grooves. When the oil control rings are stuck, they can no longer scrape excess oil off the cylinder walls, leaving thick layers of oil behind to burn off during every single combustion cycle. A third common cause is worn valve stem seals or valve guides. These rubber seals sit on top of the engine valves inside the cylinder head. When they harden, crack, or wear out over time, gravity pulls oil from the top of the engine down the valve stems and directly into the cylinders, a condition that usually produces a heavy puff of blue smoke right when you start the engine after it has been sitting turned off for a few hours. Finally, if your vehicle is turbocharged, a failing turbocharger seal will blow oil directly into the intercooler piping and intake tract. Fixing engine oil consumption depends entirely on catching it early before permanent physical damage occurs to the cylinder walls or bearings. Your very first step should always be replacing the PCV valve. It is an inexpensive part that you can easily swap yourself in under 10 minutes, and it solves oil consumption in a surprisingly high percentage of cars. If your PCV valve is functioning properly but you suspect carbon-stuck piston rings, you can attempt an engine oil flush or a top engine piston soak using specialized carbon cleaning solvents. Pouring a dedicated cleaner directly into the spark plug holes and letting it soak the pistons overnight helps dissolve the hardened carbon deposits, freeing up the stuck oil control rings so they can seal properly against the cylinder walls once again. Another helpful step, especially on older high-mileage vehicles, is switching to a dedicated high-mileage synthetic motor oil. High-mileage oils contain special seal conditioners that swell and soften hardened valve stem seals, along with slightly heavier base oils that resist burning off under high thermal strain.